My name is Eliza. I'm 50 years old. And this isn't the year I was born. It's the year I became myself again. After 25 years of marriage, I got divorced. But this story isn't about divorce. It's about a woman finding her way back from being lost. It's about rediscovering her voice, her hands, her existence. I was 23 when I married Robert. Back then, I had dreams painted in love. But over time, those dreams turned into checklists. Robert never yelled, he never raised a hand. But he also never really looked at me, never saw me, never felt me, never asked. My role in the house was clear: stay quiet, cook, clean, smile, be perfect, but never be yourself. Eventually, our conversations were just necessities. Want some coffee? Did you pick up the kids? Did you pay the bill? For years, I thought this was life. I confused survival with living. The kids grew up and went off to college. The house became empty. But in truth, I had been alone for years. Even when it was full, I felt alone. One morning, I sat in the kitchen and turned to Robert, and I just asked, "Do you think we're still married?" Without even lifting his eyes, he said, "You really thought we were still married all these years?" And just like that, I wasn't mourning the marriage. I was mourning myself. I realized what I thought was love had only been routine. And that morning, I made a decision. I wasn't leaving the marriage. I was leaving my invisibility. At first, I thought divorce would break me, but really, from that wreckage, a new Eliza was born. I left the house, packed a few boxes, moved to a small, quiet, simple apartment. But for the first time ever, I was living in a space that was mine. No part of me belonged to anyone else anymore. Not my room, not my couch, not my name. For a few weeks, all I did was sleep. I didn't want to wake up. Because when I did, I had no one to make breakfast for, no one to talk to, no reason to keep going. But one morning, while cleaning out a kitchen cabinet, I found it. My mom's old sewing machine, tucked inside a dusty box. I used it years ago to make little dresses for my kids. And right then, a whisper came from deep inside me. "Eliza, what if, for once, you made something just for you?" So I grabbed an old piece of fabric. It was colorful, a little worn. I cut it, shaped it, stitched it. And when I was done, I had a simple summer dress. I put it on, looked in the mirror, and for the first time in years, I smiled at the woman I saw. For the first time, I thought, she looks beautiful, and that woman was me. That same day, the doorbell rang. A delivery guy handed me a package and looked at my dress. "Where'd you get that?" he asked. I'd love to get something like that for my wife. And in that moment, something clicked. That quiet, creative, brave part of me, the one I'd buried for decades, where she stood up and said, "What if I could do this?" I jumped in, started digging through thrift stores for fabric, watched endless YouTube videos at night to learn new techniques. Needles pricked my fingers, but with every stitch, I stitched myself back together. In just a month, I opened a shop on Etsy. I called it Reborn by Eliza, because those dresses weren't just made of fabric, they were sewn from the ashes of who I used to be. When my first order came in, my hands trembled. It was from a mom buying a dress for her daughter's birthday. She wrote, "I just want something that feels a little nostalgic, something that smells like my mother." I read that and I cried. Because for the first time, someone didn't just see my body. They saw the soul I'd poured into what I made. Within 3 months, I had regular customers. With the money I earned from my craft, I created my own little studio. I didn't set alarms anymore, because now I had a reason to wake up. I was a creator, a provider. I was Eliza. A year later, Robert sent me a message. His new relationship had ended. He wrote, I wish we could talk again. At first, my chest tightened, but then I felt this deep silence inside me, the kind that comes with peace, because the old me would have run back. But that Eliza, she's gone. I didn't just leave a marriage. I rebuilt myself. I wanted to share my story with Maya because I know there's someone out there. Someone staring into the mirror, whispering, "It's too late." But it's not. It's never too late. I'm 50 years old, and I feel younger than I ever did at 25. Because now, I live my life. You don't have to sew like I did, but whatever's in your hands, a crochet hook, a paintbrush, a journal, use it to build yourself back. All you need is one small step, because that step could be the beginning of your rebirth. Thank you, Maya. Thank you for giving us a space to speak, to be heard, to feel seen. Here, my voice wasn't just heard, it was felt, it was shared, and now it's free.
Eliza, your story wasn't stitched with fabric. It was stitched with courage. Every word felt like a woman carefully sewing her broken pieces back together. You didn't just get divorced, you broke a chain. You cut and shaped your life with your own two hands. Reborn by Eliza isn't just a shop, it's a beacon, a light for every woman who thinks she can't. You just told her, yes, you can. And one day, because of your story, another woman will wake up, look at her old sewing machine, and begin again, just like you did. Thank you, Eliza, for rising not just for yourself, but for all of us. As you listen to this story, maybe something inside you whispered, I've been there. I want to wake up like that, and then do it. And remember, you don't have to be young. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to decide. Take that first step. Because here, we celebrate every woman who starts again. And in every story we hear, we find more of our voice.